Hello everyone, Cody here, Russell K9. Today I'm going to take a moment to go over the e-collar, the basic use, how to turn it on and off, how to properly fit it on your dog, things like that. This video is going to be for our clients, whether it be our lesson clients, board and train clients. Maybe you're watching this video before we give your dog back to you and they're about to graduate our board and train program. To dive right into it, the primary e-collar we use is the 300 series, the Mini Educator from e-collar Technologies. Inside your box, you will find a manual. On the back of the manual is all of the manufacturer's information, their phone number, email, everything like that. The e-collar comes with a 2-year warranty. So if anything goes wrong, maybe the antenna breaks, the dial, one of the buttons, the display's not working properly, anything like that, it automatically comes with a 2-year warranty, so just get a hold of the manufacturer. Going over the buttons, the functions of the collar, you'll find a red dot on your collar and that same red dot on your remote. It's magnetic, so there's no actual buttons on the collar. To turn the collar on, get the red dots close to each other. Red is off, green is on. Your collar will blink green, that's the battery indicator. Green is 50 to 100%. A yellowish color is 25 to 50%, and if it's blinking red, that's below 25, it's about to die. The battery life on this is 72 hours, and it only takes 2 hours to fully charge. Treat it like a cell phone, put it on the charger every night, and you should be good to go. To turn the remote on and off, there's a big on-off dash light button. It's got an L on it on the back of the remote. Just hold that button down. That'll turn the remote off. And the same thing, hold that button down to turn the remote on. Now that same button is also your light button. So if you click it, this light on your e-collar will strobe. If you click it a second time, it'll stay on solid. That's the primary way we test the e-collar to make sure it's functioning properly. And a third time to turn that light off. There's a T button, a black T button right next to the antenna on your remote. If you hold that button down, the e-collar will vibrate like a cell phone. That's a test button. You can test it in your hand that way, but we always recommend just forget the vibrate button, never use it, just test it with the light feature. With the dial, it has settings of 0 to 100. It's a pretty sensitive dial. 100 is HI. Inside here you'll see a flashing 1D. That means it's a one-dog system. The frequency for this collar is only to the remote and your dog's collar. So if you see another dog out and about wearing an e-collar or someone else with a remote, you don't have to worry about it affecting your dog or your remote affecting their dog. With this dial, if you're on a number and you hold the dial down like a stopwatch, it'll actually lock the number into place, and then you will have to hold it down like a stopwatch once again to unlock it. We do not recommend that because if you need to get a higher setting in a hurry, like if your dog's out in the middle of the road, something like that, it's going to take you that much longer to unlock it to get it on the proper setting for your dog's proper level for that situation. The black S is our go-to button. That is our stimulation button. So on 0, I can tap that black S and nothing is happening. As soon as I get on a number, red and red, that's not a battery indicator. That just means there's actual stimulation going to the collar. There's a red S right next to the black S. If I'm on a number 4, the red S, it'll jump up to 9. So it goes up by increments of 5. We do not use the red button. We just use the black button. So once we got everything on, whether we test the light, everything like that, all we really worry about is the dial and the black S right next to it. When you get your e-collar from us, you'll notice that inside the display here, there's a C right next to the number display. The C stands for continuous. Basically what that means is if I hold this button down, it is continuous stimulation. Why we leave it on C is because just in case you get in that emergency situation, your dog's in a life or death in the middle of the road, about to chase an alligator, use your imagination. You're gonna need to use that continuous setting on a higher frequency to get the dog back to you. On the back, there's an M and C button. So if you ever accidentally push it, you can cycle through the different settings. You can have it on an M and C or just an M. What M means is it's momentary. So it's every 1/10 of a second stimulation is going to the collar. Basically, that means you're gonna have to push the button again. So once again, if it's life-threatening, you wanna be able to hold that button down. So if I just hold it, you can see here, the light just flashes. To whereas if I'm on a C setting, continuous, if I hold that button down, it's continuous stimulation. All right, going over proper collar placement. Never leave the collar on your dog for more than 8 to 10 hours. It can cause irritation on their neck. Switch sides of the neck every other day. That way it's not the continual same pressure spots. Always 2 flat fingers tight. When you put it on your dog, we put the collar high, right at the base of the jawline, and 2 flat fingers tight. We check right along the dog's spine. I'll give you a demonstration with Blade in just a second. When you put it on your dog, most dogs' necks are cone shaped. So as you get to the base of the skull, the neck gets smaller. So what can happen is if you don't put it on high enough, and you put it on 2 flat fingers tight, it's pretty snug, what will happen is if the dog drops their neck, now the collar is completely loose. I'm using imagine my forearm here is your dog's neck. So we always nice high, 2 flat fingers tight to get that proper collar placement. What can also happen is if the collar, even if you've got somewhat good collar placement, over time the collar can drop down, and if one of the contact points is not touching here, to give you a demonstration, I can turn the dial on the collar to its highest setting. I'm holding one of my fingers to the contact point here. I do not feel anything. So if I touch another finger to the other contact point, I'm gonna feel it. But what will happen is the collar on people's dogs and they're going up, 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 and one of the contact points aren't touching, and then randomly they'll make contact with your dog's skin on their neck, and then we got a huge correction. Not fair to your dog because we went up, 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 they didn't feel anything until it just happened to make contact with the skin. To give you an example with Blade. Good boy, Blade. So when I put the collar on Blades, I'm gonna grab the box, put it right behind the ear. The collar's nice, high and tight, right at the base of the skull. I'm gonna get my 2 fingers under right here, 2 flat fingers tight. And then once I've got that, it's on properly. It should move naturally with the dog's skin. It shouldn't be falling down under the throat, anything like that. And then once again, switch sides of the neck every other day. Blade, up, up. Now that we went over collar placement, if you feel that your dog's collar is too tight, there's other options out there I wanted to go over. This is a bungee collar, and it also has a quick snap. So once you have it adjusted to the correct tightness, you could just put it on your dog relatively quick. This one also has a bungee in it, so it can naturally flex with the dog's neck. These contact points here, these are feather contact points and a comfort pad. So they're kind of long, kind of looks crazy, but what it does is you don't have to put it on as tight, and it gets easier contact with your dog's hair because it just kind of, especially long-haired dogs like Huskies, long-haired Poodles, St. Bernards, things like that, can kind of slide through the hair and get that skin contact that we're looking for without having to be on as tight. Here's a different option. This is also the feather contact points, but this one is the short hair version. So for a short hair dog, same concept, just kind of slides through the hair so you get easier contact. That way that you don't have to put the collar on as tight. It would still need to be about 3 to 4 fingers tight, but it wouldn't have to be the snug 2 fingers. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to reach out to your trainer in regards to the e-collar. And we hope you enjoy your dog and their new obedience. Hope it improves your lifestyle. Again, thank you for choosing Russell Canine.